Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to a new episode of Social Convos. I'm your host, Diego, together with my co host, Shanluk. Shanluk, welcome back.
It's a pleasure to be back. How are you doing, Diego?
I'm doing good. But before we go into further, quick announcement don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com.
Oh,
Oops.
that's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different one. Pardon the mishap. But yeah, youtube.com/ at Confoes and follow us on Instagram at IG at Confoes. And don't forget also to subscribe to our newsletter, confoes.substack.com, where we also publish our audio versions now. We're hosting our podcast on Substack now. So if you want to be on the loop for the latest episodes and our newsletter, subscribe there. Without further ado, Shanluk,
Awesome.
what are we
Awesome.
talking about today?
So today is actually a special edition, especially for people who tune in from my Facebook page, because most people don't know it. I mean, it's episode 130, and if you've been following Shaluk, my Facebook page, you might be noticing like why is Shaluk going live on his Facebook page? Because the last couple of episodes, yeah, the last couple of episodes haven't been on Facebook, but I've decided I'm going to stream live on my Facebook channel today as well. Because first of all, it's a 130th episode, so I feel like there's a good reason to. And secondly, we're going to talk about the social media conference. So the social media conference Suriname 2023, it's right around the corner. Next week, around this time, we'll probably be at a networking party, both of us at a networking party for social media conference. Or I'll sneak out to watch Robin Hood play. It's also a possibility, but most
Or we'll
likely
be live on Social
we
Convos.
are going live on social conference. We could also make that a special edition.
Hmm.
Maybe the networking party is open for that. I'll ask the networking party team if they are interested in doing a live show with us from 9 to 10. That being said, Diego, I mean, you've seen different editions, and I recently looked back at the after movie of the first ever social media conference in Suriname
Oh,
back
the
in
first
2020.
one.
And
Where is that after movie?
yeah, that is still somewhere on the internet. And I saw a Diego with long hair. Do you remember the first edition of of the social media conference Suriname?
Yeah, yeah, I can vaguely remember it. Was it the 2017? It was
Yes.
2017 or yeah,
Yes, it
right? That
was
was the
it
first
was
edition.
27. Yeah. What do you
I don't.
remember?
I actually
Is there
don't
something you
remember
recall?
much. I don't remember much. I have a fish brain when it comes to recalling stuff. I do remember the 2018 that we did the Instagram thing.
Oh,
That's
yes.
what I remember.
Yes.
But 2017, I think I was just a participant back then, right?
Yeah, probably. Or you came to the social media. I don't know if you were a participant or you came to the social media celebration afterwards. Because in
No,
2017 it was different. Yeah.
I was a participant in at one of the earlier ones. I remember I took advantage of, I don't know, I always had a way of using my student, although I wasn't a
Oh, there
student
were student
anymore,
passes. Probably
advantages
there were
or
student passes.
something
Yeah.
like that. I used one of the benefits to
Yeah.
get access and not pay the full price,
Yeah.
which anyone tuning in, there have been deals all week long. There have been
There's a
opportunities for
deal
everyone.
currently. If you haven't bought your pass for the social media conference 2023, there's currently a last minute deal going on, which is probably the best deal you're gonna get. But I should say, let's put in a plug as well for people that are listening. Remember that whenever you're at the conference and you want to go to the conference, there's always a code with our name. So Shaluk 10, And I think Diego 10. Do you also have a
Yeah,
coach, right?
probably Diego. Then I
Oh,
haven't
you haven't
promoted
used
it
it?
as much as I should have,
Oh, you should have
but
promoted
yeah,
that, Diego. Yeah. So
there's a
if you use
quote. We
Diego
will.
10, if you use Diego 10 or Jean-Luc 10, so not Jean-Luc SR, but Jean-Luc 10 or Diego 10, you'll probably get a 10% discount on the pass as well. So I think that's something for those who haven't purchased their pass yet. I think, oh, okay. And we're gonna support Tefan as well because he's commented. So if you want to get Tefan 10, you can also get a 10% discount on your pass, whether you take a community or an all access pass. But quickly to go back to 2017, because that was the first edition. That was I think around 135 people, if I remember correctly, and it was one day only in the
It
banquet.
was one day, right? Yeah, it was one day.
So it was sessions from 9 till 4 or something like that, and then from 4 to 6 it was social media celebration, and we got like at that time we didn't really call them influencers yet, but we had the content creators that were famous on social media, and they came out, and one of them I think it was Welles suggested like, why don't we play Jewel in the banquet hall, and we got
Yeah.
the tape out and we actually played like Jewel, which for
Well,
those
was
of you
that the
listening.
first year? Because I
Yeah, that
was
was the
there.
first year.
I was
No, well,
there.
the second year we did it as well. The second year we also did it, but the first year was really the year that people were going ham. Like this is a conference room, and people were playing like Surinamese children's games in that conference room. So that was really fun. Rishan Alpimu, shout out to Rishan Al. I don't know if he's watching, but Rishan Alpimu was holding two cameras like this. He was holding two cameras like this to go live on both cameras on Facebook, watching us play Jewel. It was really cool. And I remember what you had to do. You had to do a Mentos and Coca-Cola challenge. You were on
Oh yeah,
stage.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, you were on stage and you had to do a Mentos and Coca-Cola challenge. Now I remember.
yeah, yeah. I can recall that. I don't know
Yeah.
how it ended, but I can recall that.
So I think I remember that there were student passes, and we were giving away student passes by letting them play games. So there were these viral challenges on Facebook mainly, and then you had to perform them or win a ticket, right? So one of the like was a game, and then you could win a ticket to the conference, but then also there was like a cinnamon challenge. Um, there was you had to fly around like an airplane because I think Suriname Airways or one of those companies was already. I think Suriname Airways was. I don't know if it was year one or year two that Suriname Airways was a sponsor, and you had to run around like an airplane. At the
Okay, wait,
event,
hold on.
yeah.
I'm just going through the albums real quick. The
Okay.
Instagram was 2017.
Also,
So the
we did Instagram like 3 years, if I remember
yeah, but
correctly.
was that in the first year of a social media conference?
Yeah, it had been a dream always to because I came up with the Instagram idea when Instagram pictures were still square. Remember when all Instagram pictures were still square? That's
Yeah, yeah,
why
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
why
that,
the
that was the
idea of
idea.
Instagram.
That what
Yeah,
intrigued
yeah,
me to join as well,
yeah.
right? So wasn't the what was 2016 then? Because I remember we had something in
No,
2016.
no, that was completely different. No, the first conference, social media conference in Vietnam was in 2017.
Got it.
We
Yeah, yeah.
always we always celebrated social media day on the 30th of June since
That's June.
2013. The first one was in Holland, which is now FHR. That was the very first social media day. That was in 2013. And then it got connected to the ICT summit a couple of years, and so on and so on. So there was something every year, but the first conference was in 2017, and then back then it was still connected to social media day.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Instagram stopped after 2019. It stopped when COVID hit, I think, as
basically,
well,
yeah.
and we
Because
never got it back. And I think one of the main drivers behind it was also Jill Cassie, Jill Champagnou. She played a major role in motivating me to keep Instagram on. And but yeah, she's very popular at the moment. So she has all these gigs in the US, and it's hard to match all the schedules for everyone who participated. Devin participated as well, and some photographers
But
from
also the Instagram changed tremendously over the years. So like the
but
core
I
is
haven't
gone,
been
but the
active.
idea.
I'm trying to blame it on others, but main reason is I haven't been active on Instagram.
Oh,
So it would have
likewise.
so it
I
would have
think it's
been
also an
weird for me.
evolution because my last post on Instagram is mid 2021.
Yeah.
So I haven't posted aside from stories like
Yeah.
on my feed, nothing for over 2 years on Instagram.
So I'm hoping Carlin's session, which Carlin's session will Carlin's episode of Social Confoes will be released next week. I hope her session at the conference, which is next Wednesday, will kind of inspire you to also do more with video on Instagram, because there are a lot of video options that we're kind of not not highlighting. But yes, Instagram
Oh, for sure.
was really awesome. So Instagram gave the opportunity to designers, to photographers, to kind of have their first exhibition. So I think we should definitely get it back maybe next year, because it kind of also adds to the experience. Like really, it helps enhance the experience as well. Like if you have like exhibition curated exhibition pieces as well. But
Yeah, it was
yeah,
something aside from the conference that you could go beforehand or afterwards just to engage with the photographers, the designers, and just get a different perspective and just have something fun to do. And also for the international visitors going to Port
yeah,
Zealandia, uh,
they would
walking around the
probably,
city.
yeah, but also our international visitors at the conference now probably would want to buy one of those works to take home. So
Yeah,
there is this opportunity to do it, but it's just, and also the person who did it, I think the first 3 years was Suleika, and Suleika is now in the Netherlands, so she's also, that's also another reason I can't, you know, ask her
no,
like, hey, where are you?
Ruth did it the first year, and then Suleika took over the next year.
Yes, yes. And Ruth has way too much on her plate to do that
Yeah,
now
no,
as well. So I think that also has to do with it. So, but I'm excited to bring that back. And for people who don't know what we're talking about, there was this time that we allowed photographers and designers and social media content creators to put their favorite Instagram posts on canvas and make that into an exhibition. So you would able to take five of your most liked, or the ones five of your Instagram posts that you posted throughout the year. We put them on a canvas and made it into an exhibition, and we did it like with 5 to 10 different creators, and that made kind of this exhibition. So that was really cool, and that's definitely something I feel like we should extend on next year as well.
yeah, I actually got one of
Oh,
the
nice.
photo from the first one over
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So you were there the first year, yes. So
Yeah,
this was, yeah,
it's 2017. So then my memory is mixed up because if this was the first year, then it was with Instagram.
yeah. It was with Instagram. Yeah, this was the first year with Geo. Yeah, this is cool. Just to see this back. This was on display at the conference itself. So there are also
Yeah,
pictures of people sitting on chairs, listening to
I
the talks,
remember
and
preparing like right before the conference with Plea. We were fixing the stands to put the things on, and we came in early.
yeah. So do you remember where photographs? Do you still know where they are? I think one is at my mom's house. I'm not sure where the other ones are.
I actually
Interesting.
gave away quite a few of them, if not all. I think I sold one or two, and I gave away the rest.
Yeah, I think the same, and I think from the last year, all of them are currently hanging in my house, because the
Yeah,
last year I did family oriented. So these were like all
personal, very personal.
personal, very personal. It's like, yeah, I'm not selling that.
But
Okay,
coming back
so
to this
yeah.
this this year's conference, so we had Instagram the first 3 years, and if we're looking back at the evolution, especially post COVID, in we've had some interesting. Actually, COVID I think propelled a lot of international uh, engagement as well, and getting some speakers here. And now we have a suite of international speakers. Like with every Dutch session, there's an English accompanying session, I think, for most of the 3 days. So, what are you personally looking forward to most if you had to pick one session out of the 3 days?
Ooh, one session out of so there are a couple of sessions I find really interesting. And it's gonna be hard because usually I just roam around
Okay,
and walk in and
I'll
out
make
of
it
sessions.
easier. One workshop, one
So
discussion
let's do
panel,
one
and one
session.
keynote,
Okay,
excluding yours.
okay. So the workshop I'm looking forward to the most is, oh my God, it's so hard. It's really hard. So if I have to be honest. So just to give you an idea, the first session you have to choose between Jay, and we know Jay Austen is a crowd favorite, so that kind of already makes it difficult. But he's speaking in English, and then Kenzo and Team Stas are speaking in Dutch, and that's also going to be an interesting session,
Yeah,
right? So it's gonna be difficult because both sessions, Jay's session is gonna be interesting because you get a perspective from an outsider, from an American who's gonna talk about Suriname and what he's like, what he envisions, and like how he wants to build a narrative about around Suriname. So that's going to be really interesting. Then again, Scanso session is if you're looking at like practical tips and advice on like how to do certain social media postings and how to come up with ideas and creatively, that's going to be the session for you. That so that kind of already makes it difficult if we're talking about day one. Then after that session, you have then it's a little bit easier because J and Ken, so you're really gonna have to choose here. Are you gonna go more for uh, a narrative
perspective.
focused
Yeah.
perspective? Or are you gonna go more practical, like okay, I can use this in my daily life kind of situation with Team Stars. Then you go with Shito versus Brian. So Shito has a really um, interesting thing is that Sheetal is doing on how to do webinars and you can use webinars for kind of like the whole system. And what people don't know maybe is like Sheetal is a student of Amy Porterfield, like a real student. It's not like she watched a webinar once and was like, "Hey, I'm going to do this." But
I
Sheetal
actually
during
watched a webinar once,
yeah
and I can see
yeah.
the
So
practicalities that she's incorporated.
if you ever watched, because Shito transitioned during COVID, if you've ever watched a webinar from Shito, you're like, whoa, this is the real thing. This is like how the international kind of speakers do it. So she's on that level when it comes to understanding the psychology, but also the rhythm, the structure, everything behind it. And she's basically going to share that as well with people. Like, how do you set this up? So that's really cool. And then on the other side, you have Brian who's going to talk about chat options and chat automation, which is something in Suriname we're not really aware of how good this could work if you set it up properly. So I'm really excited for him to help companies understand, okay, how do I, if I have an FAQ, my frequently asked questions, how do I set up a chat bot to not only answer questions that people have, but continue the conversation? So that's really going to be a choose between are you going inbound or outbound, with outbound being like, hey, I'm going to give away a free webinar and get traffic and actually get new clients or existing clients excited again. Or are you going to focus the inbound way, the chat automation, where you're saying like, if I have a proper chat automation, it's going to be better than having a human being uncommitted to it, for instance. So that's interesting. Yeah, Stefan actually saw firsthand the transformation of Shito because he's working at Libra. So that's true. That's interesting. And Yes, thank you for joining in. Some people are watching on LinkedIn as well, so you can either watch this episode on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. And um
Then we
Stefan
have
has Stefan has another comment that we'll discuss later. So that's the interesting part of those. And then the final two sessions of day one, and that's really going to be fun. Is hold on, let me get my thought process straight. So the final one is either you're going to go to Doreen's session, who's also a crowd favorite, who's going to talk about organic, versus Jonathan's session, optimize,
about
which is about
optimizing.
optimizing your ad campaign, but also SEO, so also writing. But that's going to be so there you basically have to choose what you're more into. Are you more into the search part and understanding search better, both from an organic and a paid perspective, or are you focusing on organic content? And for people that don't understand what organic is basically that you grow your page without using ads. And
It's basically like growing your vegetables without using.
Doreen has never paid for an ad on Facebook in her life. Can you imagine that? Never having paid
I
for a
respect
Facebook
that.
ad.
I actually respect that a lot.
Yeah, right. So and to be honest, I'm gonna talk about it in my keynote as well, because I haven't advertised on my Facebook page for the last couple of months either, and the reach is insane, and that's just thanks to the algorithm change that Facebook did. So that's really
So
really interesting as
you
well.
still need to answer the question. If you had to pick just one out of that day, which would you go to?
I'm not. I plead the fifth. I'm not gonna put one speaker in front of the other and say
No,
like
it's not
I'm
about the
more like
speaker. It's about
yeah
your personal like the topic at hand.
yeah. I don't want to influence people's choices. I have to say, people do have to know that Jay and I have a very special bond, and Jay is my boss when I go to San Diego, um, and now I'm actually his protege when I go to San Diego, and I do have to be at a Jay session this year just to hear what he's going to talk about, because Jay is someone who's he's coming to Suriname every year now. So there's
Yeah,
something, yeah,
like
and there's something going on there, but we don't quite understand.
hopefully he'll
So
disclose something.
yeah, he might disclose something this year. So that's day one. But what workshop are you going to attend? Definitely attend day one.
I'm actually just going through the list. I'm curious to cancel session actually. Although as you said, the contender for the opening day is Jay and
That's
cancel
good.
session.
No, if I go
I'm
to Jay and you
actually
go to Kenzo, that's a good. Then we can exchange information. I think that's
yeah
a good
I'm
idea.
actually I know Kento as well, but
Yeah.
just seeing how he runs the session that's the interesting part for me. It's not even about the session.
And
I'm curious on the workshop part.
I think what people have to understand right now, if you watch really good commercials that are posted on social media, like really really good commercials, um, Kenzo might have worked on those. So that's good to know
Yeah,
as well. Like if you talk like the high end commercials that are currently like on Facebook, you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Most likely Kenzo some way or another was involved with that. So I think that's a good perspective as well. So you go to Kenzo's session, I go to Jay's session, and we exchange information. Which I have to say, Diego, are you already on Woofa?
Woofa. No,
Yeah. Okay,
I have
so
no idea what Woofa
oh,
is.
how am I going to do this? So Woofa is basically the conference app. And yes, we purchased a conference app this year to engage with speakers. With you should be on it because an MC, so you have to be on this app. But
Did I get
basically,
an
they're
invite?
now, yeah, you probably did. You probably did because the other speakers are already in the speaker and chat VIP room, so you have to be in it as well. But I think there
Search
are already,
email Woofa.
yeah, yes. I think
Yeah,
they're over.
I
Yeah,
see
you
the
found it?
email.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
They're currently
I
already
just
287 attendees in the app. Those are people that have paid already. So the list is going to hit 400 within the next couple of days. And basically, it's like the engagement app. Remember when we had the
the
online
online
conference during
virtual
COVID,
meeting. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then everybody
yeah.
was like interacting with each other online?
That was an
Yeah,
interesting conference. I'm not gonna lie, like
yeah,
that first online, fully online
yeah.
experience.
So that's definitely something that I would have to say, like, hey, um, check Woofa out, because Woofa is kind of our conference app this year. And if you have Woofa, you have everything. You have the schedule, you have the talks. You can directly message the speakers. You can directly message and meet up with other participants. Their polling sessions. There's everything within the app. So the engagement is already there. I was on the leaderboard. I was number one for a couple of days to set everything up. I've been dropped down on the leaderboard to five now. I've dropped down to five.
I
And
bet there's some social media participants who are so enthusiastic hitting all
yeah,
the check
yeah,
boxes. You always have a few of those,
yeah.
and
It's
it's always
it's
fun seeing them go through
yeah.
the competitiveness
They
of it.
yeah they respond on every post that's being placed. They comment. They're interactive. So you, as a first time, you definitely feel less alone. Trust me, if you use this app, even before the conference to get acquainted, you'll go to the conference more confident. You'll be able to connect with people because you connected with them on Woofa. You're able to set up meetings. You're able to set up lunch. The best feature so far for me is that I can see how many people are planning to attend my session. So that's really interesting. In the app, you can say, like, I'm going to attend this, 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 this. So like we just discussed, are you going to go to that session? Okay, I'm going to go. And then the organization, but also the speakers, can already see how many people will be attending their session. And then another feature which is really interesting is the poll your session audience, uh, but also the questions from my audience. So currently, it is possible for people who are attending your session to ask questions to you as a speaker directly, and
Oh,
they're
yeah,
public.
that's cool.
Yeah, that's
That
really cool.
is
So I
definitely
can
cool.
go through the app and say, like, hey, previously these questions were asked, so I can now actually attend those questions. So those options are, I mean, it's insane how many cool options there. Yeah,
I am definitely downloading it, and for the
yeah.
people who haven't, as you heard, this is your last chance to sign up. Get your all access pass or community pass.
And again, there's a last minute sale going. So if you use it, plumated woohoofa. So it's not actually woohoofa, but it's woofa. Maybe I can quickly put it in a banner somewhere else, or you can put in a banner. But if you download woofa, you actually have the full on experience from the conference. So should we go to day
Oh,
two, or should we go
yeah,
during the?
definitely.
Yeah.
Let's go to day 2 and 3 quick, and then just get some final thoughts on the conference.
Okay.
For day two,
Yeah.
I quickly skimmed through it, and you're opening the conference again. Do you have your epic intro planned?
Oh no! So this year, the intro is not the epic intro is not going to be my intro, but the actual sponsored opening intro. So
Okay.
the opening is going to be special this year. So what people might not get, and that's going to be difficult for a lot of people who are new to this, the first day is only workshops. So the first day will be a completely different vibe than day two. So the official opening is on day two in the morning, which will be red carpet. And the red carpet this year is going to be organized because we're going to have live radio, but there's also going to be a television setup. So people are really going to get interviewed on the red carpet. We have
So did you pick out
photographers.
your wardrobe yet for day 1 and day 2?
I ordered my wardrobe at Wilderkans. So
Okay.
actually, yes, I actually reached out to Nadira. I said, like, hey, this is what I want. you know the quality of shirt that I want because I'm a shirts guy. Everybody knows that I like to
Yeah.
wear shirts. So I rung up Wilterkens, I rung up Nadira, and I was like, Nadira, could you deliver this package for me here and here in the Netherlands? And then it got brought yesterday. I haven't seen it yet, so probably tomorrow I'll get to see my shirt, and then I'm gonna wear blue pants. So that's gonna be something new as well. You're gonna see me with a lot of more blue pants in the next year, and some nice sneakers.
That's
I
an
wanted to,
interesting
yeah.
conscious decision. we'll
No, it's
we'll
not.
probably get
So
into it.
okay, so I don't do recommendations for what I wear because I'm not I'm reasonably fashionable, but for me it's all about comfort. And I think 4 or 5 years ago, I bought an Under Armour golfing uh, golfing shorts. Like these are like regular pants, but they're a dry fit material.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to imagine they look like professional business business pants, but it's made out of golfing material like this. Like yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's like sportswear. So it looks
Yeah.
professional, but it's just sportswear. And I've been
Well, as
searching for 5 years.
you,
I've been searching for to find because I only buy them on sale. I don't buy them at the retail price because the retail price is a little bit above what I want to spend. But Under Armour, their golfing pants are really good. The pants that is basically the pants that Steph Curry wears.
well, as Yosina Willa says,
Yeah.
comfort can also be stylish.
Yes. Yes. So
So
it's
it's all
this
about what
year,
you combine with it.
I finally, after 5 years, found those pants again at a discount and in
Oh,
my
so
size, and
you
they were
stocked up.
blue, and I was like, I'm buying two pairs. And I also brought like the day before I also bought another pair
I
of
respect the
KGs.
logic.
So there it is, and it matches well. I mean, it's black, blue, black. I mean, it's fine. It works.
It's the conference colors.
Yeah, it works, and I'm not gonna do anything fancy smancy else. Maybe where I do have a blazer that I can put on top of it to kind of make it get a feel, but no, I think it's gonna be quite simple. I'm not big on the and there's also a situation where I might not walk the red carpet because I'm the first speaker, so I
Yeah.
might have to skip the red carpet to fully mentally prepare to speak. So that's
Or just
also
get there
something else.
early, get the first photo, get out of there.
And that's also I could probably also do that, but the speaker room is actually be in front of the red carpet. So you have the speaker room and then the red carpet and then the ballroom. So most likely I'll just stay in the speaker room, and I shouldn't get too involved with the opening. But the opening on Tuesday is going to be awesome. I can guarantee that the opening on Tuesday is going to be awesome. It's
Oh yeah,
something we've
last year
never
was
done.
fire.
Yeah, something we have never done before. It's a sponsor who made it available, made it possible. So we're really excited about it. Um, but we've expanded at the entertainment program. So on day two and day three, every keynote has an entertainment block. And that's going to be fire because the quality is nice, the interactiveness is nice. We'll probably be dancing at least twice during the conference, the whole room, and like a fun song. And then also, there are also other sponsored sessions, entertainment breaks. So that's something that I really look forward to. And yeah, and then I open up the conference, and then there's Shigeo's session is after mine, and
Yeah,
Shigeo's
so I
really gonna jump into kind of the things that I'm happy that are being brought up, that are being talked about. So that's really really cool.
I skimmed through day two, and the theme is generally all about social media, the tools, creators, and with some AI sprinkled in between. So looking through this, I'm actually curious about the 11:45 session, the impact of AI. on PR and media,
Yeah.
purely because of the composition of this.
Oh yeah, it's really interesting. So just
Because
to before we
yeah,
go to that session, so after I speak, you have Shigeo, which is going to be really like if you're an agency, if you're a marketing department, you have to attend Shigeo's session because he's gonna give you insights that you're usually not gonna get uh, at any session. And then at the same time, for the English speaking participants, but also people who are really tech conscious, Leslie Lee Fook is gonna speak on AI and automation as well. So if you're more into like AI automation, if you're really sales and numbers driven, that might be the session for you. So that's kind of also where you have to go through. But the session you are talking about is really interesting because it's a session on the impact of AI on PR and media, but from three different perspectives. So one perspective is the traditional media, if we want to call it that, but newspapers and other really established media houses. Uh, that's one part of the panel. The second part of the panel is a governmental communication, so communication from the government. And then the third one is from the commercial sector. So that's a really interesting mix when you talk about impact on media.
and it's all women, especially if we're talking tech. Usually, it's the guys at the forefront. This time, it's the
Yeah, but
women in this
it's
panel.
communication focused, so maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, but that's why I'm curious because it's the dissonance that you get, right? And that's why I
Yeah,
think this is going to be an interesting session to for me at least
yeah.
to go through.
And this is a really good macro session, like understanding like how the dynamics work and where everything's going. And at the same time, in the banquet hall, Sarah Monroe, which is she's flying over from Vermont. She's going to talk about connect and captivate influencers and advocates for charities and small businesses. And Sarah is a charities and a donations and charities expert. Like this is also interesting. What I want to share with people: three of our international speakers, on their own, on their own title, have raised money through their network for a children's home in Paramaribo.
Oh, that is cool.
Right? So we weren't involved. They did it directly. They actually went out and sought donations to actually renovate a television room for a children's home in Suriname. You know how crazy that is? That just three international speakers that come to a conference are like, we come bearing gifts. We're not just flying here to speak, but we're also going to help the community and do a donation to change children's their lives. That's pretty cool, right?
No, that is very commendable.
Yeah. So I'm not sure Sarah's going to use this case, but there actually is. So she in her session can actually relate to a Surinamese case where she did a charity, and she's going to talk. So if you're for nonprofits, if you're in a nonprofit organization, or if you're in a small business, it's really an interesting session as well.
And then we got some lunch, and then we're closing off with a social media networking experience. This is
Oh
something
no,
new.
you're actually leaving two sessions out. There's still social media and HR, which is definitely an interesting topic. I would definitely recommend, even though I'm in the other room, I would definitely recommend everybody going to that session, social media and HR, because that's going to be such a fun session. Because you're going to hear like we use social media, like how we want to use it, but you're going to hear from communication experts and from HR professionals, like how those communications, your personal stuff that you post, how is that being received? Like, and how should companies approach our generation and Gen Zs to come and work for their company, because that's also something that a lot of companies struggle with. So I think that's definitely an interesting session. And Jay and I are doing something fun in the banquet hall during that session for those who only speak English or those who are a little bit more drawn back and want to learn a little bit about networking. So that's also going to be very fun. And then before we
Yeah.
have the networking party, we have Julie Riley's keynote. And wow, she entered her session topic, and that's going to be elevate your social media presence, actionable tips to boost your marketing. So that's
Emphasis on
also very
actionable. Mhm.
actionable tips. I love this. Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, this they get me. That really gets me excited. And for people that don't know Julie Riley, for the past, she's actually took on a new challenge starting this month, but she was the affiliates marketing manager for StreamYard. So actually, the company that we use to stream our
Yes,
actually
what
our
you're
shows.
watching right now is
Yeah,
being
what
done
you're
through StreamYard. Mhm.
yes, and she used to be the affiliates marketing manager for StreamYard.
And then we have a long, long, long after party.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. The after party this year. We can't officially disclose the location yet, but it's a beautiful venue, and it's
It's
gonna
on
be
the
a lot of
website.
fun for. Yeah, but we're not disclosing it here publicly yet. We want people to go to the website and
Yeah.
purchase a ticket
If you
and
want
get
to
into the
know,
WUFA
go.
app and get excited. So I think that's the best way to approach it.
All right. And then I don't
And
think
we're
people
gonna
are going
have
to
a
sleep after that.
pretty popular DJ who will be DJing at the networking party as well. So that will be fun and a good MC. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
That just means people aren't going to sleep and are going to go to
That's
the
why we
next
go till
day.
11. No, that's why we only go until 11. Is to get some proper sleep, get at least 6 or 7 hours sleeping. Yeah.
All right. What's in store for the last day?
So on the last day, we also have an official opening because Ferranto has always been our host, but there's a special something as well that I'm not ready to announce. I'm not allowed to announce it here publicly, but we have a very cool announcement on day three as well, which might change a little bit of the landscape as well. And yeah, keynote entertainment is going to be fun in the morning. And then we actually have an interesting mixture because we're going to talk about the future of social media with Niels Besisser from Qualogy, so one of our top entrepreneurs in Suriname. And then he's going to talk together with Anil, who we had on this podcast before, Anil van Martrete. You may know him as Anil van Martrete. That's his signature name. And I think most importantly, he coined the phrase Chief Philosopher Officer, CPO. And we see a lot of chief philosophy officers now in the Netherlands appearing all of a sudden. And we just want to know that we had the original one on Social Confoes, and he's joining the panel together with Doreen. So we've got an interesting perspective from somebody who is Surinamese who built his business in Suriname, the Caribbean, and the Netherlands. Somebody who's originally from Suriname has worked for major tech companies and is now consulting out of Curacao, and uh, a social media expert who is originally from the Netherlands and has moved to the US and has worked there for the past decade.
Yeah, I
So
think
and
this
has her
is
own
one
business.
of the most diverse. If you look at geography and scale of types of people, this
Yes.
is one of the most diverse panels.
And that's why I'm interested about it because it could go different ways. It could really go different ways with this panel, and there will be some really interesting insights and maybe some interesting discussions within the audience as well.
All right,
And
then we
then
got
next we have the ICT Association coming up with a pretty cool panel, innovation and digital transformation in social media, which really connects. And then you have Mike Antonius, which is the CEO of Telesur, Frank Mayer, also very well known person, and Julie Sundar, who we also had on Social Confoes, who was kind of pulling the car for a lot of girls in ICT at the moment and is allowing them to participate in competitions and work with app development as well. So that will be an interesting panel. And at the same time, I think it's just announced because I saw a comment. I saw a comment here. Right now, it's Rico Yare. I said it before I saw Jean-Luc's comment on Rico's post. Um, this is just a snippet. If you don't know who Rico Astrando is, check him out on Facebook because he might be announcing something right now as we speak or tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna defer to his page. If you know Rico Astrando, follow his page, follow the content that he shares, because right now he's doing a lot of good for to promote Suriname in a positive light. So there will be a really interesting session, and I think here the balance will between corporate and creators. I think the corporate participants are definitely going to go to the ICT Association panel, and those are really the content creators are going to crave towards a Rico session because I feel that that's a better fit for them. So that's a differentiation where the differentiation is clear that you really have two different audiences that will decide which direction they are gonna go. And then after that, we have two really cool sessions. We talked about Carlin as well, who will be a guest on the next episode of Social Confoes. She's really going to dive into video confidence and Instagram. Whereas on the other side, we have Dave Fanado with the Dave podcast and Tapabang Style, the creators of those, Simple and Dave and Dion Brings, are going to be in a panel about how they approached their work, and they've already really talked about it because Simple was on social media radio, uh, and he on I think last Friday, and he really put out there like this Monday, and he's really thinking on already on how I'm going to approach this, what I'm going to talk about, and this is going to be fun. And the Dave podcast has exploded the last year as well,
Oh
so this is
yeah,
going to be an interesting panel as well. Again, you really see a distinction, and the third day you're really going to have the distinction between like the corporate and the creators. I always want to call the banquet hall the creators room on day three because after the lunch, your session with Plu and Helio and Tefan is going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
really about design and content and photography, which is again really content driven. And then on the other side, you have the CEO panel uh,
That's
with
more corporate
Shaniel
driven.
Gaiden, the country manager for
Yeah,
Teleperformance, and then the CEO of Torarica, Dave Polk, and the CEO of Optic Ninon. So Daniela. So that's gonna be like really the corporate side of things, and then you have the creator side, which is really design and photography and content. So that's really an interesting distinction. And then we kept it off with a closing keynote from Dennis Yu, which I have to be saying I'm really excited about. This is
yeah.
somebody.
I'm curious. I'm very curious on the closing.
He has traveled the world. He has spoken in so many countries, and navigating the social media marketing frontier, insights into the latest trends and strategies. And he's really gonna shake a lot of people up because he's gonna talk about things that we're gonna be like, wait, that's a possibility, or we probably know about it but haven't implemented it yet, or didn't realize that it was an option for us. So that's going to be really interesting as well.
No, with that all that being said, this is a lot, and I especially love the approach for the first day, the workshop approach. So
Yeah.
last chance, people, get on it.
So if you haven't already, go to socialmedia.sr. If you go to socialmedia.sr, you can still purchase your passes. There's still a last minute. I don't know exactly what the last minute deal is, but there's still a deal there. So if you go to the shop, you can still purchase a pass. And again, if you use Diego 10 or Jean-Luc 10 or Tefan 10, you'll be able to get an extra 10% discount. So that's the best at the moment what I can do to offer if you're really like, hey, I really want to go to this conference.
Yeah. So to cap it off, this is the one episode that you should not listen to the rerun to because once you hear this, it's gonna be too late.
Oh well, if you're listening to the rerun and it's past October 25th, you can go to socialmedia.sr and already book your pass for next year.
2024.
Yeah, because um, yeah, I can give it away. The first speaker for next year has already committed.
There you have it, people.
Yeah,
Planned 1 year in advance, more than
the
1 year in
first
advance.
the first speaker for next year has already committed.
Awesome. So to cap it off, Any closing thoughts on the social media experience? Looking back at the last 6 years, I would say, how
Yeah.
would you
So
describe the evolution and experience coming into 2023?
this is the biggest conference we've done so far, in every sense of the word. In participants, in it being 3 days instead of two, in having 10 international speakers. It's really a big conference this year, and we're extremely excited. It's gonna be difficult for people who have been there every year to see that there's a first day where there's no official program, because day one is really the workshops. Again, if you're a first time attendee, um, I know I'm going in my own pocket, but if you're a first time attendee and you still haven't bought your pass, a community pass is fine. It's fine. Trust me. A community pass is fine. You don't have to go for the all access the first year. Come attend, get a community pass the first year, experience the conference, and if you get like, whoa, this is beyond what I ever expected, then you're ready to go to the next step. So I think that would be my advice. If you right now, if you're on a budget, go for the community pass. It's fine. You're gonna have a great experience. And the next year you're gonna be like, okay, I want to have the workshops on day one as well. That's the one advice, because we're good on the all access front. It's not that we have. I mean, we still keep the registration open for people who want to attend, but it's already, like I said, we're already almost close to max capacity. But we do want to allow people to come in and get the experience as well. And yes, I'm really excited. And also download Woofa, because my Woofa notifications right now are blowing up at the moment.
That's the first thing I'm gonna do
Yeah,
once
yeah,
we get off here, and gonna
yeah.
download it, see what's happening there, see how many people are attending each session, and comment, engage, see who you can
There will be
connect with.
prizes, of course, for your engagement. There will be prize. And yes, this is a good buy early bird. There are no early birds available because the conference is next year. There is a last minute deal, but the best thing you can do is a early bird. And if you come to the conference and you had an amazing day one or day two, go to your boss directly and tell them like, listen, I'm gonna attend this again next year. Allow me to
Get the early
purchase it
bird.
at the lowest price, at the lowest price possible. Allow me to purchase it a year up in advance, because it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And that's all I have to say from my
So
side. So everybody who
to
tuned in,
close off,
thanks for
yeah,
watching.
thanks for tuning in.
Yeah,
We're excited for next week, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of October. That's Monday till Wednesday. And with that being said, this was a special episode of Social Convos episode 130, talking about the social media conference Suriname 2023. And to close us off, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com at Confoes. Follow us on Instagram at Convos, and subscribe to our newsletter on Substack, convos.substack.com, for all the news and updates. There's probably a newsletter coming, you guys, soon, a new one. For those of you who received the first one, send us your feedback. With that
awesome.
being said, Sean Luke, roll us out.
This was Social Confos. Thank you for watching or listening in. We'll see you again next time. Same place, same time. Until next week. Bye bye.